Hey everyone, Kevin here with Victory 4x4. Today I'm going to be showing you a brand new product for a 2020 RAV4. This is going to be our roof rack install, so follow along and we'll show you how it goes. Alright, so to get our roof rack installed, you're going to need to remove these factory roof rails. In order to do that, unfortunately these have studs going down through the factory roof from the top down. So you need to be able to access the nuts from the bottom side. So to do that, you're going to have to lower this factory headliner inside of the vehicle, which sounds pretty intimidating, but it's not really that big of a job. It's pretty easy. So follow along and we'll show you how to get that down. All right, so in order to get this headliner down, we're going to have to remove anything that might be holding it up. One of those things is going to be these grab handles. You're going to have one at each door, and they all remove the same way. So with a plastic pry tool, or I found this 90-degree pick to work pretty well. You just want to be careful not to damage the plastic. You can get in here, there's a couple little cutouts, and you can pull these covers back. Sometimes they'll pop out like that, but that's okay. Those will snap back in later. And with it like this, and those covers removed, you can just pop the whole thing loose. If your metal clips stay in the factory roof, you're going to need to pull those out and just clip them back into the handle for reinstallation later. And there's just a couple little slots those snap right back into. And then just kind of loosely put your plastic covers back into like so, just so that you don't lose them and you have everything ready to go for reinstallation. So to get these visors out, it's going to be as simple as taking a T25 Torx and removing 2 screws over here on the outside. Make sure to support that so you don't drop it. And just put that out of the way for now. And keep track of your hardware for reinstallation later. And then to remove this visor clip, all you got to do is grab a hold of this nice and firm and rotate it. And once you hear that click, you can just kind of pull that straight out and set that off to the side. So next, we're going to remove this center control panel. All this is really attached with is 4 plastic clips up into the roof. So you just need to get behind this back edge with your plastic panel tool, get it up above there and open that up nice so that you can get a hold of it with your hands. Put some downward pressure. Those clips will pop right out. You can see all 4 of them there. And then just make sure to disconnect this electrical connector up here in the center before you do any pulling on it. And then set that off to the side as well. Next, you're going to have to remove this headliner trim for your sunroof here. This is really just applied with pressure. So you just got to grab a hold of an edge, get that started, and then work your way around. And that'll all come down nice and easy, like so. Next, this A-pillar trim is going to have to come loose. That's just held in place with a couple of clips right behind here. So get your hand behind here, maybe your plastic pry tool, and get that started. And again, with some outward pressure, you should be able to get that free. Now it does need to come down a little bit farther than that. So in order to do so, it's kind of hard to see, but there's another clip behind here that you just need to get a hold of and get it pulled out of the metal. It's just got a small tab top and bottom, so get a finger on each, and then you'll be able to slide that out just a little bit farther. So here you can kind of see the clips I was talking about behind that A-pillar. Here's the 2 tabs that I was saying you need to press in to get that out of the metal, just top and bottom. And then once these are out, it's really critical that they go back in correctly so that you can reinstall this later. So they have all this excess length so that it can pop out and the airbag can release from this pillar in the event of an accident. And when you remove it, that all comes loose. So you need to push that all back in, and then there's a couple small clips here on the back side that fasten that correctly back into the panel, and it needs to be in tight like that so you can reinstall it later. All right, so with that A pillar trim removed, you can come back here to the B pillar trim. This is also going to have to come loose. In order to do that, you're just going to want to pull this door seal back a little bit so you can get your hand behind here. And then with a little outward pressure, that one comes free. There is a plastic clip at the very top here that can slide out of this panel. And I would advise doing it. It should just slide straight back. And just set that to the side for now so that it doesn't poke into the headliner here, because the ends of these can be a little bit sharp, and that way you don't damage the headliner while you're working with it trying to get those rails off later. All right, so now moving toward the rear of the vehicle, this back pillar trim molding needs to come down as well. To do that, go ahead and pull this door seal back a little bit so you can get your hand behind here. There's going to be a clip right up behind the top, so just some outward pressure just like the others. There's a clip here in the center, and then a clip right at the back, and those all need to come loose. There's actually another one right down here as well. And you just need to pull that down, let it hang like so, just so this headliner is able to drop free. Okay, now here at the very back of the vehicle, you have 3 Christmas tree style clips that just push straight up into the headliner. So you can get a standard panel tool up behind these and just pull straight down. Okay, so here working in the back seat, right overhead, you're going to have this light that needs to come down. That's just installed with 4 clips. So you can get a panel tool up behind here. And with a little bit of downward pressure, you should be able to get those free. Just like so that can hang and allow this headliner to come down. Okay, so right up here, they're a little hard to see, but you have the 2 studs coming down for the front, and you can see where those come through and the nuts that are on them that you're going to need to remove. You can take those out with a 12mm ratcheting wrench, or possibly a small 12mm socket on like a 1/4 inch ratchet. And there's going to be 4 of those studs on each rail. So there's going to be 2 right up here just above the front door. And then there's going to be 2 here just above the back door. They're pretty much just under this slot in the rail. So you're going to have to just kind of fish your hand up in there with your tool and feel around and find those. But you got a good look at what they look like up there in the front, so you know what you're looking for. Now that we have all 4 nuts removed on this side rail, we can come up top and pull it out. Everything else retaining it now is just going to be some plastic clips and then a small adhesive pad up here in the front. So just kind of get a firm grip on it, give it a wiggle and pull upward, and the whole thing will come loose just like that, and you can just set that aside. Okay, so we're going to begin by assembling the rack. You can see we got all the parts laid out here: side rails, crossbars, front and rear fairings. We're going to start with the side rails and these crossbars. It seems to kind of just be the easiest place to start. You're going to take this crossbar and just line it up roughly with the slot that it correlates with. And then you're going to take your 1/4 inch bolt from your hardware pack along with a washer. It's a good idea to use just a little bit of anti-seize on these going into this aluminum, because if you ever need to